butter or some shit.
Okay. We live. What we not gonna do, it's Thursday, and I normally see that I normally go live on Thursday, so this is and I haven't gone live all week. All strong, yeah. I have been quiet on purpose. It's a lot going on in the atmosphere. You have to be very selective and guarded with your energy. Let's just open it up right there. Peace, love, and light. Yes, this Thorsday. It's an amazing day. It's a Jupiter day, November 3rd. I want to open up by saying happy born day to my brother, KT the Arch Degree. This is his B-day. Soul Trap, I don't know. Please help me out with the Soul Trap. Yes. This is another, for me to say warning implies that that there's danger amidst. And even though I can say that there may be the energy in the atmosphere that's conducive to danger, I don't want to speak danger on anybody on this live. So I would not say that. I would say that I just want to extend a reminder. You know what I'm saying? I want to extend a reminder to the listening audience that there's a lot of energetic signatures that would be conducive to violence at this time. So you have to be very mindful of the energy that you're entertaining. You have to be very mindful of your temperament. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be very mindful of avoiding accusatory allegations, accusations, and confrontations at this particular time. Use me as an example. I've been getting out the way, and people still been throwing dirt. And you know what? I'm like, you got it. You feel me? It's not even the time to attempt to be right. You know what I'm saying? It's the time to lay low and allow things to take due course. You know what I mean? And the rectification process is going to happen in due time. You know what I'm saying? So because we're dealing with retrograded energy in Mars, right? So I'm an Aries rising and an Aries moon. To just give you an example of what Martian energy feels like and how it moves through, right? This is the 44th week / strong of the calendar year. 44 is the number of Mars. It's the number of Aries. You know what I'm saying? It's the number of blood. It's the number associated with killing. It's the number associated with shooting. It's the number associated with, and Aries is the head. You feel me? So when we look at takeoff on the beginning of the 44th week of the year, right, in Houston, right, where the Astros are playing the World Series against the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, and they're tied, I believe. Let's go into seeing the synchronicities of this while I break this down, because I love receipts, and it's not about self-aggrandizing. It's just like, well, goddamn, when you on to something, because this shit came to me when I woke up on November the 1st, and I was looking at the situation. I didn't even mean to press this, but universe is like, yeah, show that shit. So I was talking about Philly, being anything but the city of brotherly love, and then that same day, 5 people were shot up, 445 people, 445 homicides in the first 10 months of 2022, right? That's about 44.5 murders a month. All right. So, the signs are there. All of the motifs are at play right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall for the hype. A person can't be your brother in name alone. You know what I mean? This is really about action, and Aries is about action. action. Aries is also the sign that governs war. You feel me? So all of the energetic gaslighting that Gemini Kanye West was doing in the Libra season has now trickled and found its way into this particular Scorpio season, with Mars being the planet that governs Scorpio, right? Aries. It governs Scorpio and Aries. We find Takeoff, who's also a Gemini, right, being put in a situation by his Aries brother, his blood brother, or his uncle, for that matter, Quavo, who's born April 2nd, the same day as Kyrie Irving, right? His hot head got his brother clipped. Kyrie's hot head got him in a fucking pool of water. You know what I'm saying? And this is all perspectives. He had to settle out and fall on his sword because of what can be conceived as they're saying he had a hot head in the press conference. His uncle, they still blood family. This still is about blood. The Migos, right, which is a euphemism for brothers or friends, very close friends who are brothers, because you will slide and die for these people, your Migos, right? The nigga was in Mexico, all right? Let's just clear the bullshit. Houston is not fucking Texas. Texas is not America. That shit is Mexico. Anybody that been to goddamn Houston knows that. So he was in a Mexum. He was in Mexico, where the Migos is from. You feel me? And his brother with a hot head got into an argument, Aries, and he got shot in the head, Aries. Laying in a pool of blood, Aries. On Halloween. Right? They got everything to do with blood. All of the 44 resonators is in the news right now. Obama, tell me different. Martin Luther King with the Invaders documentary that Nasir Jones and Yo Gotti just put out about Memphis, another 44 resonating city, right? Let's say Kanye, he's in the news still, right? They just launched the USS, they just launched this rocket on Monday, the same day the Takeoff got taken out. You feel me? And his album called The Last Rocket experienced his 4-year anniversary yesterday. Now you tell me, is this a coincidence? You feel me? And I'm not saying that nobody had anything to do with it. I'm saying that this is how energy moves through the cosmos, you know? And what we can do with the coding and gematria is like you pull back the covers. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at the mechanics of the Most High. You know, you can identify this is the fingerprint of God. This is how energy moves. And so I think that, the things that are taking us out and taking rappers out and all of this stuff, you know, this is bigger than a conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? It's no human hand that controls this. But, judgment is on Black America. That part. You feel me? Right? There you go. SpaceX. X equals 144. It's a 44 resonator. Malcolm X is in the news. Right? X equals 144. Martin Luther King is in the news. Obama's in the news. You feel me? They're launching 44 missiles at this time. I mean, it's you know. And I told you this Halloween is going to be exasperated because the movie franchise Halloween is experiencing its 44th anniversary. Crypto was born on Halloween. So you can expect fluctuations in the crypto market this week. Right? There's crypto news coming out. I'm sure that I seen some. Feel me? It's a lot going on. It's a lot of energy that's being strummed up right now. So people are getting to see what Mars retrograde is hitting for. We're going to be here until January. So how you going to avoid arguments leading up into January with all of this energy that was just created by your brother Ye? and Kyrie and all of this other stuff, all of these accusations and finger pointing and people calling one another out of their names and disrespecting one another's humanity, you know, and grown men, you know, using fighting words. Oh, you pussy. You scared. You a sellout. You ain't with the shits. Are you a coon? Or you a flunky? You know, you work for them folks and y'all niggas gonna go vote on Tuesday and what y'all gonna do with y'all face when Herschel Walker becomes governor? What y'all gonna do with yourself when Herschel is the senator of Georgia? You been what's your energy gonna look like when you got Senator Walker? And you should be running right now. Running. So, yeah, 4 years ago today, Takeoff drops the last rocket, right? A day before this SpaceX rocket launches. Now, it launched out of Cape Canaveral, which is Florida, but it's still a takeoff. It's still a rocket. It's still dealing with NASA. And then NASA tells you today that they're going to the asteroid to get the most money ever on the planet, you know, quadrillions of dollars by hitting up this motherfucking this asteroid. You know, all of this is cosmic. The Astros are playing in the Super Bowl, in the World Series at the same time, and the games are tied at 2-2, right? And they said they had a rain delay. Somebody in Houston tell me, was it raining so bad? They said that they had to push the Astro Phillies and the Eagle Texans back to Thursday. So both of them is Houston Philly games taking place on the 4th. Right? How do you, again, you and then all of this is in the shadow of the palindrome blood moon that took place last year, November 19th, when the other Memphis dude got killed on November 17th, Young Dolph, on a 44 day, a day that equaled 44. He got clipped. 2 days after that, we get a blood moon. A few days after that, Malcolm X's daughter gets killed. Same day that the dudes that killed them got exonerated. These are the same dudes that got their money the other day. All of this shit is going in a circle. So a palindrome is a mirror. 1441, it was 1,441 years since the last blood moon hit of that intensity, the one that hit last year, November 19th. Shout out to my brother Akibalon. Right? So that palindrome, 1,441 years ago, what was taking place? That was the first time that they said the Portuguese snatched slaves off the coast of Africa. Right? The whole Cape Verde incident situation that we're now talking about because of the Bantu people and these lost tribes. If you've seen the documentary, Negroes to Hebrews, you know what I'm talking about. They said that was the first time that the Latin church, which means the Roman church, sat with the Ethiopian/Coptic church to forge a merger. You know what I'm saying? And 1440 is when they created the printing press, which was the most revolutionary thing of that particular epoch or era. It changed everything. It changed the face of the world. You know what I mean? And it's a palindrome, right? So these energies go back and forth. They're mirrors of one another. So now we see this stuff mirroring in our reality in sports games. Now, again, I said that I was going to take the high road and I wasn't going to take shots at the YouTube Gematria community. And I'm going to stand on that and keep my word. I would just say that we don't do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect to them. That's no disrespect to them. They're just, you know, very much steeped in conspiracy. And while I will say that, yeah, I can't say that the Jesuits don't have a hand to play with it, or this is not some form of mysticism, I also would say that you are peeling back the curtains and watching the mechanics and the mechanisms of how cosmic decisions are made and how they play out. You're looking at the script of life, which is a numerical code like you see in the Matrix. And these people are looking at it and they think that the man is doing this based on a conspiracy. So they're going to come and show you the alignments using the numbers. You feel me? And it's going to be key and on point. But they're going to say in order for this to have worked, that Takeoff was compromised since a child to make sure that he was born the day that he was born up until the very day that he got clipped. And somebody there was with a measuring tape and they said, well, Offset birthday was this day. And in the year 1991, you know, Rap-A-Lot Records came out with Mind Playing Tricks on Me, which was about Halloween. And all of this shit is going to sound so crazy to you, and you're going to lose people without saying, yo, this is the cosmic showing its mathematical precision. And J. Prince Jr. is born on October 30th, and his daddy's born on October 31st, right? So they got big serpent scorpion energy. You feel me? And instead of that, we could see as cosmic cartologists who cart the cosmos, right, and make sense of this mythos. We could say, look at this dragon scorpionic energy, the serpentine, this big serpent scorpionic energy was responsible for bringing the Draco in the game. So his daddy, J. Prince Jr. and himself was responsible or credited with bringing the other Scorpio Drake in, who symbolizes Draco or Draco, the constellation. But some of you niggas gonna say that's the Draconians or the reptiles. Go ahead, do your thing, right? Everybody gets to shine. But we don't do the same thing. And that's no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? This is not a conspiracy. I'm not going down a conspiracy lane with this and saying that the Jesuits was responsible for takeover or Takeoff getting taken out. Nah, we ain't doing that. We're saying that the cosmos, right, lines you up to have a larger conversation and communication with the people who are bearing witness. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's going to have their day. And there's a lot of poetry in death. If you can decipher it, you know what I mean, and make it make sense, whatever that means. So we could take the sting out of it to be like, damn, yo, there was a sign in this. And the sign is what? Stop splitting up with your brothers. Stop separating with your brothers. Stop dragging your family business out into fucking public. Because when you break up your brotherhood, you become susceptible to stray bullets, to stray shots, to friendly fire, right? Because negative forces are always looking for inroad in places where fractures exist. So if you're not your brother's keeper and you're not protecting your brother, right, then the people who always wanted to get at your brother is going to find a way in. And you're going to be looking like, you know, you're going to have the gas face because you was here warring with your brother or in a conflict with your brother. And then you can't make up with your brother because when it's done and it's final. And don't let no bitch split up your clique. You feel me? Stop letting the women come between the brotherhood. Okay? They went from 3 to 2 to 1. Lift off. 3, 2, 1. Take off. Okay? And these are founders, progenitors of what can be considered the latest wave of Atlanta music, which sits on the top of hip hop. So these are like niggas sitting on the top of the mountain. You feel me? These are not some little uninfluential people in the culture, in the genre. These niggas named their album The Culture. They became the culture for a minute. They were the culture. You feel me? And the offsetting energy of this nigga being a snake in the midst of his brotherhood, a serpent, right? Then he fucks with his lady's head. She's a Libra. Her scales are off. So while Ye was going nuclear on the Yahudis, she was going nuclear in hip hop against all of the other women, and she offset the entire pH balance.
Not the pH balance.
She offset the entire pH balance of the femininity. Yes, she brought a yeast infection to hip hop with the females because she can't keep her man, who is a Sagittarius, right? She can't keep his scorpionic energy. This nigga can't keep his snake in his pants. So I'm gonna show you with one misstep, one bad decision. One bad decision in your life can lead to not only to the dissolution of your family, your crew, your group, right? But also the loss of life. As inconsequential as that may seem, life is a series of decisions and choices that we make, and if shits have ramifications. We're looking at a ramification that matriculates from bad decisions that was made. The ultimate or original bad decision is that this nigga's addiction, scorpionic addiction, his scorpionic energy is fucking everything up. It's gonna cost him his home. It has cost him his group. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, his group member's life. Right? That's how bad this shit gets when we cannot contain and control our lower nature, our scorpionic, the lower aspects of Scorpion. Right? Yeah, and get into your divine masculinity. This nigga is crawling on his belly still, like a serpent, like a snake. He snaked his brothers, and his brother ended up getting snaked and lost his life. You feel me? Now, he changed his profile pic, but that was like, it took a whole day.
Yeah, but like, bruh, if somebody close to you die right now, God forbid, you go on to social media? Like, cause that's a close one. That's like your brother. The last thing I want to do is go to social media.
What?
I'm saying, like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it took a whole day, but you not.
First thing is not to go to Instagram and say
you probably not checking in.
I might be on the floor crying.
You know what I'm saying?
Dust out. Like,
well, yeah,
what?
that's true too.
Yeah. So again, no judgment. You feel me? I'm not. It's not my place to point fingers. You feel me? Because yeah, this
like
you know.
You can't go back and say whatever happened. Ain't no apology could be given.
That's hurt. That hurt. Like,
yeah.
Last thing I'm thinking about is y'all people I don't even know.
So again, this Philly, anything but brotherly love. 445 murders. You feel me? Chicago got more. I remember Chicago's annual murder shit was like 444 annually. And they supersede that. In Chicago, I believe, is smaller than... It's smaller than Philly.
Wow.
Right? Shit is off the hook. Nobody want to take responsibility, but that's a whole other conversation. Humans may evolve to have deformed bodies, second eyelids from overusing technology. Y'all continue to think this shit is a joke.
The second eyelid.
Y'all continue to think this shit is a joke.
Let me make... Hold on.
Shoot.
Going on.
Feel me?
Dang.
Y'all think this shit is a joke.
My baby come out with 2 eyelids. You got a problem.
You feel me? But like I said, man, check out the Invaders. And, you know, shame on our leadership. shame on the agitators. I'm saying shame on myself. Because I should have did the research. It should not have been to this ripe age that I'm finding out that the last people that MLK sat with was a youth militant group out of Memphis named the Invaders. I just found that out. And I consider myself like a history buff when it comes to Martin Luther King. Because I defend the king. The king didn't die on his knees. You feel me? The king died winning out defending militants. His fiery speech from April 3rd. His fiery speech from April 4th at the Riverside Church when he went against Vietnam told you that he was not the same MLK that we seen, you feel me, on them steps. He took a transformation. He went through his scorpionic phase. And he got clipped on 4-4. That blood that spilled in 68. You know what I'm saying? Consecrated Memphis as the place where the kings go to die. So, again, we're coming into this anniversary of young Dolph, the king who also dies in Memphis, you know, on the 17th, right before that blood moon. I highly recommend you go and watch this documentary. It will change your perspective. Because we would have picked up exactly where he left off. We would have been like, who are the Invaders and what was their program? And you would find out that they was very similar to the Black Panthers. You would also find out the COINTELPRO was real. You would also have J. Edgar Hoover on your goddamn altar, right? With some juju blood on his ass for all of the goddamn people in our movement that he took down and declared war on, and the insistence of his to stop the rise of a black messiah. So all of this coincides at the same time when niggas is just now finding themselves in the midst of a controversy created by Kanye and Kyrie. Niggas is just now finding themselves in 2022. And in 68, they knew what the fuck was going on. And they was willing to ride on them principles and stand on it till death do them part. Our women as well. This shit was crazy, yo. This documentary was crazy. These niggas was on it. Young niggas moving militant through their city. And then they got framed in a march. King and them was trying to do a march at the end of August 28th, same day that Chadwick Boseman made transition. In 2020, they was in the city marching, and the police set them up when it came to the white commercial part of town where the stores was at, where the drip was at. And they false started a riot, and they blamed it on the youngins, on the youth. And then the Negro leadership in the city turned on the youth. It's the same shit that they did on Kanye and Kyrie. Right? The Negro leadership, the civil rights niggas, the turn the cheek niggas, they turned on him, but that wasn't where King's mind was at. That's where the same people who ends up setting him up, that's where their mind was at. King was like, look, if they use violence, we use violence back. He was like, they got every right to defend themselves. He's like, I understand their place. And he had a meeting with them right before he got clipped in a hotel room. And he was telling them, go out as my spokespeople, as my mouthpiece, and speak to other militant organizations and let them know that I want to sit with them and get to know what their grievances are and their methods and methodologies. And from the cream of them, I'm going to take them and show them some of my tactics, because he understood that if you could be a gang leader, you could also get into politics. You could also get into organizing. You can infiltrate these corridors, you feel me, and shake shit up. I also was watching a documentary the other day on the AKAs, and I have to give them their props. I have to hold those women up to say that they did the best what they was given, and they utilized, you know what I'm saying, their quote-unquote advantages. One of the ladies' advantages was she was of the bloodline of George Washington. On both sides. And she used this shit to her benefit. And she was a firebrand militant who was utilizing her influence and her inability to say no or to be scared by the same people who come from her blood. She rallied up some testicular fortitude, and she rode on them people and changed politics.
That's an empowerment.
And that was a
Right?
documentary?
A documentary on AKAs. I seen it on Amazon. It was on Amazon or Netflix, baby.
I think it was Netflix.
It might have been Netflix.
Netflix? I don't know. I have to check that out. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
The same thing with GDs and Larry Hoover. And the thing that happens where after LBJ, I think Carter comes in, and then y'all don't get my timelines mixed up. So Nixon, right? When Nixon comes in, Nixon creates what's called a black capitalist. Nixon does something different. Now I don't know if this is why they got rid of Nixon, but Nixon was empowering melanated people in terms of these youth chapters, these leaderships. Remember, Nixon and them gave the money. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, Nixon and them was the one that was giving the funding to the GDs and Larry Hoover, because just a lot of these organizations were getting funded by the government, and they were allocating funds. Anytime you have riots in the streets, especially in inner cities, they're going to cut checks afterwards. Right? This is what BLM and them took advantage of and got the 200 million and all of that. Anytime they riot in the streets and kick up dust, nigga, there's checks coming. Right? So he was funneling bread to these organizations. Right? And they called them black capitalists or black Republicans. This is when niggas got rich based on government funding. Because they was also utilizing that as a war tactic, right? Because Nixon was like, they coming back from Vietnam, they angry, but they got war tactics now. So the war tactics that they utilized to neutralize revolutionaries was to give them money and give them jobs. How do I know? My daddy told me this how they got him. My daddy kept it real, right? He was a Black Panther going to Columbia at the time. He got kicked off campus, right, for militant organizations and things that for organizing in a way in which, was against whatever policy, because this is when all of this stuff was taking place on the college campuses. And he was like, they gave them niggas good jobs. And salaries, right? A form of an affirmative action to a degree. And they put a lot of them young men's, I don't want to say they put their flame out, but they put them in position where they got them off the street. They got them off of organizing on a grassroots level, and they put them in positions where ultimately, they could become compromised. This is real shit. You know what I mean? And my father's still a professor today in the institutional systems of America, teaching African American literature. All he wanted to do was teach, right? Because he come from the generation, as well as the young ladies who came from the AKA generation, as well as the Invaders. All of these niggas was smart, right? That's another thing that separates, right? Huey, everybody was educated. Bobby Seale, all of them had something in common. They come from a background of education. The difference today is none of these niggas is somewhat educated. Definitely not on a collegiate level. You know what I mean? So, and then the best that our community has to offer is the people who have degrees that sound crazy in public. I want to say this so bad.
I mean, why not?
Cause
everybody else is saying
I know, cause it's Mars and Retro, and they're gonna screen record this and send this to this person and be like, "Yo, he was coming at you."
Oh.
But I seen the big homies live yesterday, and the nigga just sounds. He's a Leo. His ego's out of control, man. Fuck that. And that's not. I'm not even coming at a brother in our community. I'm just saying it's kind of obvious, man. Like, we need to sit down and sit with ourselves, man. Get off these fucking these Screens, yo. Stop acting for the fucking audience. Jesus Christ, bro. This is just getting out of control. And you can't be a leader in name alone. Like, your leadership has to show up as action. Like, my nigga, you have to make good on your promises to the community. You feel me? And the motherfuckers that's holding the degrees are not showing the level of intellect this necessary that adds up to the fact that you want to put degrees in our face. Them degrees don't mean shit because you don't have the emotional intelligence or the educational fortitude to show that, you know, that this shit, you have not the healed your divine masculine, and a lot of us are failing to the initiation of the ego.
Because that's all it is. You didn't do anything about it in the first place. So even when we come back to this conversation about taking accountability and responsibility, then people find the scapegoat or the exit way to take accountability for the action, but not the why.
Not the why.
That's what it's really all about. Why did you do what you did? And that's the part
yes,
that nobody
as we sit here and watch a screen, right? But if you might have came in at the tail end, I said, this is my first time all quote-unquote week going live. I've been attacked. I had all kind of shit I could have got on here and went in and spoke to you about. I could have went DEFCON 3. I could have been up here talking about Kyrie shit. I could have been all kind of shit I could be talking about. Right? But I didn't. You know, I sat with it before I made a response to it, and I dealt with it in private, even though it was brought into the public. And then I came on here and I said, let me share the message that I'm getting from our latest news topics that's taking place. Let me give you some sort of a cosmic confirmation in terms of saying, damn, this is what I'm seeing, the convos that the cosmos is having with us. You know what I'm saying? So that is my response to saying yes. You know what I mean? Let us take time before we jump on these screens and just emote, right? Or be emotional under the energy of a Mars retrograde, under the season of Scorpio, when everybody's emotions are high right now. And it's going to be exasperated even more by, you know, this full moon coming up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in error when I say that the Leo is a motif or the prototype for leader, right? But it's also ego. So we can look to the leadership in our community who are Leos to see where they at with their ego.
And then you gotta remember, Leo is Aquarius is complementary, and we're in Aquarius season, and with Leo being it's complementary.
Aquarius and Leo is that's the internal struggle, right? That, especially if you say that you for humanity, but the Leo is all about singularity and individualism and ego. How do you balance the two? How do you balance leadership in the Aquarian age? The shit supposed to look different. Right? And it's a social media age. No other leaders had to deal with this before. So how are you showing up as a leader on these particular mediums? Because technology is Aquarius. This social media is Uranus Aquarius energy. You feel me? And yeah, this shit is exasperating leadership under Aquarius because niggas is only concerned about how they look. You feel? Yes, while I'm getting my hair done.
Yes, sir. You see the cosmic conundrum, y'all.
You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, the cosmic conundrum. But I don't care. I'll show you this shit however it looks. I'm not caught up in my image necessarily. You know?
But that's like the issue that, in my opinion, that a lot of the people have with quote unquote leaders is because I'm looking at you, you look a certain way. But then when I get to know you, I find out you ain't shit.
Right.
And now I have a problem.
Yeah. And that's why we shouldn't give man so much.
Exactly. But then that goes back to the people. Y'all have to take accountability and responsibility for yourselves. These are still people. They got to take a shit. They got to take a shower. They got to scratch their ass just like you do.
Just like you do.
Why are you giving them all of
smell.
Yeah, why are you putting them up there so So they can
shit
take
on
the
my finger smells the
responsibility,
same
but you
way
don't
that it
have
does
to.
on yours.
Because I think what it is, because I had to come to grips with this myself in being so, like, I just love being around, helping people, but I help them to a default of myself, because obviously it ain't something I worked on in myself, so I'm excusing to help them and not helping myself.
And that part, and I'm feeling that you'll pay more for helping a motherfucker for free, right, than if you would have charged them a fee. So it also is coming to that paradigm where as a
saying, like, then you have to determine your why. What is your why for helping people? Are you helping them because you really want to help them, or are you helping them because you wish somebody would have helped you?
That part.
And that's why.
It's that part. That's my why.
That's my why. Damn, I'm doing all this for somebody.
Because I wanted someone to help me.
That's my problem. I'm doing it because somebody didn't do it for me. I'm doing it out of a place of lack. I'm not doing it from a place of I genuinely want to help you.
Exactly.
And so when I get down to that part, then it's like, okay, not that I don't want to help people, but it helps to eliminate the energetic drainage that I get. Because I'm doing it from because I could see that you are doing shit to yourself. So me coming in and trying to override that is really not
gonna do nothing.
Piss me off.
Yes,
because you ain't gonna change until you ready. You know, because you're on your journey.
Yeah.
So that's I think that everybody as followers, viewers, consumers, all of us just, as a masses individually, we have to get to our why. That's your shadow work. Why?
Yes.
It's not wrong that you do the shit that you do. It's why are you doing it? As long as you know why you're doing it.
The most important part of this all is the why.
It's the why. And is it, and do you really, that why too, is it you not really wanting to take care of yourself first? And you're putting everybody before you?
Putting everybody, is it something that you used to doing or you think you're supposed to do? Because a lot of us do that. We think we pride ourselves on being so down for everybody else and not for ourselves.
We pride it.
Why are we okay with that?
Why are we okay? Yes.
Why does that make you such a bomb person that you could neglect yourself to take care of somebody else? I'm supposed to think highly of you.
We're supposed to
but
respect
you're not
that.
thinking highly of yourself.
We're supposed to respect that. We're supposed to think highly of it.
And then think you're going to do the shit for me.
Yeah.
And
right. You're not doing it for yourself.
Because you feel like you gotta do it, and you don't really want to do it, but you feel like you're supposed to. So now you're resenting the other person. Like, why don't you just get your shit together?
What do you have to do all this? Got you.
Yeah, but it's a lesson, and we all learn it. Me and myself included.
Yeah, I'm so learning.
But the more that I see it, I'm like, damn, we all really doing this shit.
Yeah.
And that takes me back to the religious mentality, because this is how they teach us to be in Christianity. Everything is outside of you, and whatever you do that's outside of you is supposed to bring you some type of inward gratification, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I want to have a whole bill, about Christian consciousness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like a 3-hour bill though, so we ain't gonna do it right now. But we definitely gotta have that bill. Shout out to Charlotte. We ain't doing Black Friday. We're doing Facts Friday. We'll be out there on the 25th. You know what I'm saying? Tapped in with the small businesses, the entrepreneurs, and the family out in Charlotte and NC. And that would be a 3-day festivity. We'll be all up and down, North Carolina on Sunday. We're going to be in Yadkinville, right? Brunch, bonfire, and bars. We got the whole team. You know what I'm saying? And Saturday, I think we got a meet and greet in the city of Charlotte as well. I don't have that flyer right in front of me, but these things can be accessed through the link in my bio. All right, we got early bird special tickets and all of the good stuff. Charlotte, y'all been asking for it. Here we come. So,
I don't know how to do it.
yeah. And shout out to the family that was out in Charlotte last strong in for Dr. Boyce's event. You know what I mean? I ain't make it this year, but I'm sure that it was worth it. You know what I mean? So shout out to Dr. Boyce and everybody affiliated with that platform. All right. Somebody asked me earlier, what did I think about Shaq and Charles Barkley calling Kyrie an idiot? Yeah. You know, did you expect something different? Especially from Barkley. I'm surprised he kept it that cordial. And he said more in the clip that I saw. He was highly critical of him, but you know, this is that time that the dichotomy is in full effect for you to see everything that you possibly ever wanted to see. The curtain is pulled back, the veil has been removed. You feel me? It's a half full cup, and half, you know, all of that shit. It's all here. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't hold any stock in what Shaq has to say about anything, or with Charles Barkley has to say about anything. It's personal with them, and then it's like, man, this shit is, you know, even with Kyrie, it's like, yeah, you know, to each his own. You know, at the end of the day, this is as much as they have you believe that this is collective and we're all going through this together, this is a personal journey. You know what I mean? Because we all ain't the same. We all don't come from the same place. We all don't have the same assignment in life. You know what I mean? We're not tethered to the same things. You feel me? We're not obligated. We don't have the same obligations. We don't have the same responsibilities. You feel me? And we're not called to be accountable in the same way. So we're just very much different people. We're just lumped in this broadness because they hit us with these amorphous terms like black. You know what I mean? And that shit is so confusing because it doesn't speak to our individuality. It doesn't speak to the uniqueness of our character or our makeup. You know what I'm saying? And you should be in debt. You should be in the calling of, you should be in service of your ancestors. You feel me? And it's your job to find out who they are. It's your job to find out what they need in this present paradigm to best serve you. You know what I'm saying? It's your job to find out what your ancestors' unfinished goals are so you can complete them. And you can make that connection so your days can be long because you're honoring your mother and your father. You know what I'm saying? So that's a personal journey, you know. I think that there's been enough conversations in public at this point where people can now go and do their research. And then when we get back together, it could be a whole nother conversation because people will be educated on the topic and then have better questions. Because the degree of answers that we can provide, quote unquote, even as leadership, is really contingent upon what type of questions people are asking and what it is that you want to know and your why. Feel me? Your why. You know, as a lot of this stuff is not coincidental, that this stuff is coming to the surface and it's unearthing itself. And there's so many contending stories that are taking place at the same time based on our narrative. Niggas is saying we from the Americas North. Some niggas is saying we from the Americas South. Some niggas is saying we from the Africa South. Some people are saying we from Africa North. They saying we from East. They saying we from West. Niggas are saying we from Antarctica. Right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And people are coming with evidence for all of that shit. Like, look, I got receipts.
Everywhere we went, we took ourselves.
Everywhere. Right? So coincidentally, as all of this information is coming to the surface, it's no coincidence that the Mississippi is drying up and all of the secrets are coming to the surface.
Colorado River, too.
And the Colorado, right? Because we are a Mississippian culture, whether we came here on boats or whether your ass was here. The one thing that is in common of that narrative is that all of that shit converged along the Mississippi. And what's also true is that there was empires along the Mississippi, kingdoms along the Mississippi. Whether you are genetically connected to that narrative script or what have you, that remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? When our people were here, they transmigrated. They left the Mississippi area and populated the rest of this country as migrants. Feel me? Yes, then we have the mound builder culture, which goes back to at least they say what? They say Poverty Point can be traced back. This is a 10,000 year, if not 100,000 year civilization. Right? But they're saying they're finding relics in America to talk about 9.4 million years and shit like that. This place is ancient, yeah. And then every population, every indigenous one, they have 500 nations here. All of them niggas have narratives of cosmic origin. So it's not just enough to say we from the cosmos. Because all indigenous people around the planet say that. And they all come from different places in the cosmos, which means, once again, what? We are not the same people. Right? And don't get caught up in me researching my narrative to think that it's your narrative. You got to find out what your story is. Or we're going to keep bumping heads. And that's what's happening. And people are now trampling over other people's narrative because it's not their own and they're being disrespectful. And I said, by any and every means, and as many times I get in public, I want to repeat this because I'm sure that I have been guilty for trampling, and I apologize. You feel me? If I've said something that was hurtful or insensitive to your genealogy, to your bloodline, to your history, because I was just beating my chest and professing what I learned either about myself, my own, or what I thought that I knew, right? I have to apologize for that. You feel me? Because that was done in my ignorance and it was insensitive. And I grow better to know better. And I know that that's a no-no. You feel me? And for some of us, you know, I can only speak for myself. Yeah, like, you're going to have to sit down and get right with your ancestors because they're pissed off that you have not been doing the right things, that you have been appropriating other people's cultures and utilizing your bullhorn to you know, pronounce them as the one. And that might not be the truth for you. Now, the you on the other side is for you. That's personal. I'm speaking to you, whoever you are. But I'm telling you what my journey is leading me and what was being brought to my attention, what I'm mindful of. You feel me? And my every attempt to get right with my ancestors because of things that I know may have been infractions. You know, when I was stepping and trampling on shit to move to other places. So that's the level of responsibility that we have to ascertain in this journey, you know, and you might not be there right now in your journey with it. But at some point, when you get up to the mountain and you get to the other side and start coming down that side of the mountain and you start meeting your ancestors on the back side of the mountain that you have not seen in the light, nigga, you will know what the fuck I'm talking about. We've been out here playing with a lot of things and some things don't mix. You know what I'm saying? And then the things you're supposed to have in the front, you got in the back. You got to reshuffle the deck and put things in their proper place when it comes to your ancestors. And you have to find out what that order is, what that arrangement looks like. So you don't got your main hitters in the back seat and you got the niggas with the pop guns riding shotgun. That ain't gonna work in war. You better feed them, right? Because they need to be fed in order to do what you need them to do to keep you from being dead prematurely. And he suggested reading on the ancient African presence in Mississippi. There's a lot of pages, like meme pages that have links to ancient, antiquated books. I would recommend, you know, normally I wouldn't recommend meme pages, But going to the Aboriginal, Indigenous, or autonomous pages floating all around Instagram, and start clicking on some of those links. They got links to a lot of PDF books that you can go and read and see ancient maps. But the best thing that you can do is get your genealogy done. African ancestry. I went to ancestry.com as well, and I got a lot of information based on my paternal bloodline, my patrilineal bloodline. Right? But you got to do your due diligence. Don't go to any DNA service. You know what I mean? A lot of them is fugazi. They're going to volunteer your information to scientific research or snitch you out to the police for DNA matches and shit like that. A lot of that's happening. So you got to do your research. You got to do your due diligence. Know who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Or if you have your family records intact, then you got to sit down with some of the oldest people in your family and start digging in. You know what I mean? And connecting these dots. I'm finished?
Oh, I'm ready to put you under the dryer.
Okay.
Before you finish the live, so you don't kind of have all that noise in the background.
Yeah. But yeah, there is a great amount of things taking place right now. Right? Mad monuments being unearthed right now. I can't even keep up. It's nonstop. So many things are coming to the surface. Right? Bank of England, right? Issues their forecast, right? The economy is going to go in the toilet in the next 2 weeks. I'm telling you. When that moon hits next Tuesday on election day, right? We done read the charts, me and Bay. This shit is going to be a bloodbath for the Democrats. In particular, it has a lot of negative aspects about to hit Joe Biden's chart. Remember, he's November 20th. This chart is affecting people up to their 20th degree. My degree happens to be the 21st, and I'm born on the 14th, so I know that Joe Biden is a third decadent Scorpio, right? Him and Future is the same B-Day, to give you an idea. He's about to go through it, right? We seen the chart. We know exactly what's about to take place. This nigga's about to get routed in the midterms and look crazy on the international stage because he's going to become a lame duck president with the Republicans controlling the Senate. He can't get nothing passed, and everybody's going to be on the U.S.'s helmet come 2023 because they're in their Pluto return, and it's the fall of America. And it's going to take place by way of the economy. Why? Because Scorpion deals with the Scorpio Taurus axis. Taurus deals with all things banking. Scorpio deals with big money. And it's a sex, money, murder season. And the last full moon was in Taurus. The last blood moon was in Taurus when the economy started going like this the last time. So now it's on the ropes. And the UK said that they told their people, you're going to be in recession for 2 years. Now, the reason why this takes precedence over everything else is because they run financial systems from London, from London City. And as much as we saying, because when you hear the Fed, you think the federal bank is a federal agency of the U.S., and it's not. These are international bankers, and they're located in UK. You feel me? Primarily so. So they're fluctuating, they're fluctuating all of these interest rates, and there's a bunch of reports financially coming out. There's a big one coming out on Friday, I believe, and this one just came out for the UK, and they told them you're going to be in recessions for 2 years, leading up into 2024 when the next election takes place. Nigga. So you got the energy and the atmosphere of the UK about to go to war, world war, right? They don't got no leadership over there right now. The Queen just died. She represents the economy, y'all. I don't know why you don't understand this. She was the treasury. She was the bread. When she went, everything went with her. Right? Her son, whether he is Palindar or not, nigga, which means the red dragon, he's not going to be able to hold this shit together. You feel me? He's not going to be able to hold this together. This shit is about to bottom out. And unfortunately, our people are going to feel the brunt of it because they're destroying the middle class, and our people are so gullible in their politics that they're going to be up under these Democrats' nuts and try to ride out with them, not understanding that this shit is, the fix is in. The fix is in. And this shit lays upon the shoulders of Black America. They're going to depend on you to bail them out. They're going to depend on you to bail them out, right? The same small hats that's dragging you through all of this shit right now, right? The Jewish liberals are going to be depending on you to bail them out because they're going to get washed up by the red tide. Diddy, a Scorpio dressing up as the Joker or Trump card, what is he speaking to? Did you see what happened to Takeoff on the 31st, nigga? And Offset was the Joker too? Look, Heath Ledger is born April 4th, and he would be 44 years old this year. So, again, a nigga who's born on November 4th dresses up as a dude born on 4/4 during the beginning of the 44th week, bringing in the blood wave. And this nigga is known to fucking call up Beelzebub. This nigga got Shaitan on speed dial. Are you serious? This nigga did the Joker too well. Is he auditioning for a role in Hollywood? Because he did that. Yo, yesterday was the 3rd. He was still running commercials about the Joker. He's still in character. What are you talking about? What's Beelzebub? Beelzebub is another word for the devil. Yeah, Dr. Love is cosplaying the Joker, right? All the way until, his birthday. He's probably going to be dressed up as the Joker on his birthday as well. So he's showing his face. He is the he is the agent of chaos. He is the fucking destroyer of this culture. The nerve of this nigga to show his face as the Joker in the midst of all this going on. Selling fucking liquor. Yeah, he did it way too good. He's diddy bopping with Satan. He was showing character. He was going to fight a man named Mikhail that night. He was showing character. That his shit was so offsetting to other people's energy that they wanted to smash this nigga. Smash on this cow. He called him a pussy. And this nigga was talking about love the other day. Now he's the Joker, an agent of chaos. In Gotham City, for real. When the game is really chaotic. When we really got Gotham City energy in Gotham City. This is who you choose to be. And then you're going to go back to being Dr. Love tomorrow. The Joker. Heath Ledger, right? Okay. The U.S. mega drought, right, is changing everything as well on the West Coast. Right? They have an unprecedented drought on the West Coast, and that is affecting the Colorado River, right? And in ways in which this country has never seen. So on both coasts, the Colorado's dried up and the Mississippi's dried up, right? You got to know a little something about the topography of this country to understand how serious that is and what the Mississippi represents when it comes to commerce and waterways. It runs through 10 states. It is the vein of America.
And that Colorado River supplies a lot of water to our West Coast people. That's where all the West Coast helps their water come.
Archaeologists discover biblical war related to Earth's magnetic field. I bet. Right? Neanderthals went extinct not because of war, but because of sex. That's a real scorpionic Mars and retro article to be having right now. Right? Musk says Twitter's cybernetic super internet, in so many words, he said what? He's attempting to create group mind. He said that Twitter is so much of a resource in terms of intel that it's stronger than the AI artificial mind. This is the shit that I've been saying, that if you look at these different platforms and mediums and we are able to connect and coalesce, if our information is making computers smarter, why is our information not making us smarter? Okay, 34 states, right? The Mississippi actually it drains water from 34 states, and its tributaries are responsible for feeding the ocean. All of them shits is dried up right now, and the tributaries that feed the ocean are flowing out into the Gulf. But near Mississippi and Louisiana is where this shit is dried up, so everything is stuck in the mud. I spoke about this when I went to New Orleans the other in July, and I was like, shit. I went to that water, and the water said, "Look, I seen things I can't forget that you don't want to know." And then when I looked at that mud, I was like, "Oh my God!" There was so much death in that fucking river that I just saw in the vision that I was like, "Nah, I don't want to know. I'm cool," you know. Right? It lifted interest rates from 3% to 2.25%, the biggest jump since 1989. This is in the UK that just happened the other day, like yesterday. Right? With these interest rates. So the people who Kanye was talking about, that y'all saying, yo, they destroyed, they hit his economy. Nigga, they hit global economies for the last 3 weeks. They have decimated global economies. Fuck their little $2 billion that they took from Kanye. Nigga, Adidas said, we'll destroy ourselves. They fell on their whole sword. You have no idea what money is. Thinking that $2 billion is some bread. Or $11 billion. Them niggas is like, we will erase you, little nigga. That ain't no money. You fucking with trillionaires. Look, these niggas said they got $31 trillion in debt the other day. 31 trillion. Right? Fuck your money. Your shit don't mean nothing. Right? And it never did if you don't got the heart. Because money can't buy you no heart. Money ain't everything. Cash can't rule everything around you. You feel me? You got to get that credit to creator. Fuck that shit. Hip hop has to self-correct itself, man. You know, they using that shit like a gun, like it's Megatron, to kill Optimus Prime. They ain't canceling none of them. They uncancelable. This shit is not about them. It's about you. The curse is on you. You niggas want to be black. You got the curse then. And the only thing that's consistent with all three religions is that you cursed in all three of them. So they like, we done got y'all where we need you. You niggas obviously don't know who you are. Obviously, we just seen that. We just did the window. We just did the dry run to see who knows who they are. These niggas don't. Exterminate them. Exterminate them. They've been taking up too much fucking space for too much time. And look how these niggas fight. They don't even know how to fight no more. These are not their ancestors. Let's be clear. And the white boy know that. He know he got you at this point where he could push the button, and he like, they're confused as to whether they're gonna ride this white dick or that white dick, but they not even on their own wood. We got them. Man, let's finish this shit. Man, let's finish this shit.
So worried about who's fucking who.
Yeah.
You don't realize who's fucking you.
You so worried about who's fucking who that you don't realize that they fucking you. At this point, this where we at. The American middle class is at the end of an era. Right? And they came in here specifically saying we're about to destroy the middle class when the Great Reset started. And we have come up with no contingency plan. So that's why it hurts, because this is going to fall on our people, yo. It's going to fall on us as a people. And we playing games. Concerned with what the hell people are saying. We got so much energy for shit that people are saying on social media. I'm like, where's the energy for the real shit, bro? Like, they're attempting to push you off the cliff permanently and have you groveling and begging the government for handouts. This shit gonna look different 2023. It's gonna look different post-Thanksgiving once you realize what's going on. And that's in less than 30 days. Shit is so real at the supermarket. Niggas gonna be doing takeout.
Boy, door dashing like a bad boy.
Yeah.
I got some beans though and rice.
Yeah, I'm about to get this menu up. About to get this menu up.
They're gonna get the mushrooms. Yeah, we gonna
yeah,
mushrooms.
yeah.
Hey, boy, I got some lion's mane over here.
I got some lion's mane that tastes like turkey. Nigga, trust me when I tell you. Yeah, let us walk you through it. I could fuck some greens up. Vegan. Right? I know how to get provisions out the ground. You know what I mean? I don't gotta get sweet yams and potatoes. I can make them shits from scratch. I know how to make crust from scratch. You feel me? I'm about to go and get some snap beans. Trust me. You know what I mean? We gonna eat.
We gonna survive this bad boy.
We gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, with government assistance and less spending during lockdown, Americans' middle class was able to save unprecedented amounts of money during the pandemic. U.S. households had socked away about $2.5 trillion in extra savings, right, from March 20th to January 2020. Now, new data made available by Bloomberg and produced by University of California, Berkeley, economists reveal that wealth for middle-class families reached a record level of $300,000 during March 2022. That's 120,000 more than the average middle-class adult in America was when Donald Trump took office in January 2017, Bloomberg points out. Right? Yeah, the pies is up. We're gonna be slinging them pies come friends.
Pie, my brother.
Friendsgiving. Yeah. It was a golden era for the middle class. That percentage represents estimated decline in wealth by around 27,000. It's a big fall. That kind of decrease hasn't been seen since the 2008 global financial crisis, the shit that I be talking about all the time. And this tied to 9/11 because bankruptcy takes place in 7-year cycles. And the bankruptcy that took place that was exasperated by 9/11, the one that took place in 2008 was exasperated by 9/11 because they destroyed the birth certificates in the fucking World Trade Center. And what did they do? They bundled them with mortgages and called them toxic derivatives when they showed up in 2018. Why? Because all of the other international governments knew, oh no, them bonds over there, that shit ain't no good. Them niggas put all that paperwork on you. What about that? Right? The rush with paperwork fucked all of that shit up that they was trying to do with them goddamn birth certificates. Right? So the Moors still are pushing needles in this crusade and don't even know it. They don't even understand it. They don't even get it. It's over their head. Right? It's the result of a perfect storm of economic uncertainty brewing. Interest rates are rising. The market is tanking. Recession rumors are everywhere. And decades-high inflation means that cash in the bank isn't worth as much as it used to. Case in point, shout out to my brother Malik. He went to the bank on Sunday morning and couldn't get money out. Right? The shit was shut down. He could not get no cash. Couldn't get no bread down. Visa was down. I'm just saying. Right? As cost of living increases, more households have dipped into their pandemic era savings. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it real. Like, I went through some of them savings last year investing in crypto. You know what I'm saying? And I got bread tied up in them situations and shit. But the crypto market is going through something, understandably. You feel me? And we need to refocus and recircle our wagons and really understand about the utility of NFTs. A lot of us have lost focus. I'm not blaming this on the economy or nobody else but us. We stopped the focus. We need to reestablish the focus and understand what we can possibly still do with the technology, right? Because blockchain is a technology, and crypto understanding what assets mean, what they represent, and the fact that we can create our own value. We still have to do that, right? I still have a metaverse program, a platform being built out that's accompanied by a coin with a DAO and a whole bunch of stuff that we're about to roll out very soon.
Okay, how are you?
You know what I mean? And this article here speaks about this this outfit that's utilizing NFTs for citizenship to a private island that they own, where people will be able to buy in, domicile, and live on this island. But then you can invest in it and don't even have to necessarily live in it. This is what we always been speaking about. We need to do as a people to secure ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, if you're not talking about farming and growing your own food, you know, if you haven't started it, actually, you're kind of behind the 8 ball, right? But look at this shit that they're saying. They're saying that this is what social media has the ability to create in terms of the evolution of the next human. And I explained that humanity is being harvested, right, and primed for transhumanism. And they're utilizing transgenders as the buffer zone between that, because they are dependent and contingent upon the industry of science and medicine in order to hold their form. Look at the form. Look at the form. Look at what they're showing these people.
Oh my goodness, stop
Yeah.
it.
This is what they're saying you're about to evolve into because of
Oh, I'm on
because of
camera.
social media. Yeah. You feel
I can
me?
see that because people always doing this.
Yeah.
Nah, the back is definitely paper.
Yeah. But look at the back. Hold on, I'm gonna show you this shit. The back is crazy.
Okay.
Right? And I was at a farm yesterday messing with some pigs. And they look like they look uncanny, like pigs got human faces. It's the weirdest shit ever. They got skin. Yeah, pigs is the most similar animal to humans, right? They got the same neck.
Mankind.
Yeah, shit crazy.
Oh my god! But you can
Yeah.
see that because everybody.
Yeah,
sits
Adam,
like this.
this person needs a massage.
Yeah.
Real bad. You know what I'm saying? But science is saying that this is what the human is destined to evolve into because of the social media. Humans may evolve to have deformed bodies, second eyelids from overusing technology. Now, we're not going to claim that, right? We're going to banish that and be like, nah, not me, not me. But I want you to be mindful. And I told this, and I had told this, I remember communicating this to my brother. I don't know if I'm putting my family business out here, and I don't want to make no Migo mistakes. But I went to visit my nephew over the summer, and my nephew was heavy into gaming. And I had shared with my brother that I was like, because my nephew's also a star athlete, but he didn't go out to the park this much this year. He was more so on the gaming thing. And I was like, yo, when I saw him, I saw a bend in his spine. You feel me? Because he's sitting on the bed and leaning over, curved over. I think that he had a bunk bed over, so he got to purposely curve over. And he's getting taller, going through growth spurts, but he's not stretching himself out. And I'm seeing it. And I'm like, yo, we got to do something about that. So when I see an article like this, I can only be real and be like, in my physical real life, I could see this happening. And evolution, our evolutionary process, like, we don't speak about it because we swear that we the same people that we was 4,000, 5,000 years ago. I'm like, Bruce Lipton, what? DNA responds to environment. So you can evolve. What?
How you change your genetics and shit like that. It's a conscious thing too, like even how animals do it. Like you
Okay, so can y'all hear me?
always have the neck, but because they food is up there.
Can y'all still hear me?
I think they did who was it? Sharif was talking about a monkey. He gave an analogy about a monkey. And he said monkeys are usually scared of the water, so the monkeys were like around, right? And the mother monkey was like right by the edge of the water. And the baby
Alright,
fell
so,
in.
yeah.
She got the baby out and ate it. So when her next litters of monkey came, they already knew not to go by the water.
Alright. Ones that overusing technology could somewhat steer human evolution in a direction that leaves people looking deformed compared to what we consider normal today. There's no question technology now plays a constant role in the lives of many, but what is all that screen time really doing to the human body? Now, again, I used my own personal narrative and story to tell y'all last year I suffered from blue light toxicity, right? It sat me down and I was immobile for a minute because I found out that my circadian rhythm was off, right? Because I'm on the phone, I'm on these screens all day, and at night, blue light coming off the phone is signaling to my body that it's the daytime. So even when I'm laying down to go to sleep, at best, I'm taking a rest because my brain is not producing or releasing melatonin because according to my body, it's 3 p.m. even if my clock says it's 3 a.m. So I'm going to sleep and I'm not getting sleep. I'm just taking a nap. I'm not getting the rest and repair that my body is designed to do every single night, right? So I'm at a detriment and I'm waking up and I'm utilizing this amount as opposed to the totality of what I should have access to energetically to get things done. And now I'm running on fumes and I'm burning my tank. And you can burn the midnight oil to that shit, burns the lamp down and it burns your crib down, right? So that alone was taking place with blue light toxicity. Now they're speaking about physical effects on the body based on deformity. You know, the fact that these phones have become extensions of our appendixes. This is our, like you got a third leg, nigga. This is your third arm. Pause. Researchers work with a 3D designer to create images of a future human that accounts for all of the problems long-term tech use may cause. Though study finds takes a natural stand on the content we post and leaves it to our readers to debate or debunk, we certainly can't help but raise an eyelid or two on these images after. Woo! Now they put all kind of shit. I've never heard them put a disclaimer with their news, because this news site is edgy. They push a lot of shit, but even with this one, they had to be like, look at it. She got claws now, and y'all be seeing the people with the claws. The nana be having the claw. No disrespect.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Like that.
We seen the claws before. Now we see the hunch in the back. We see the stiff neck, right? Because niggas online, you can't tell them nothing. They stiff neck, right? So you already see the stiff neck forming in the.
I you, but they look just like them Balenciaga models. The ones
you know what?
Yeah, these niggas is the Kanye models. Yeah,
I'm trying to understand these transhuman doggone models nowadays.
These the Kanye models, right? Kanye trying to push the transhuman shit. Like, yo, these are Kanye models, right? Hunchback humans, right? Researchers predict that office work and craning the neck to look at smartphones will lead to humans having a hunchback in the future. Currently, many people consistently adjust their position to look down at their phone. I kid you not. We was in the club the other night, and I was coming through. I was, going back and forth, and I had passed Bella and them. It was like 4 of them lined up, and everybody was just stuck in their phone, like.
See, and now look at the form of your body.
Right, that should be like a whole.
And I always have to tell my client, I have to go like this. It moves.
Currently, many people consistently.
She did the thing around her neck and put a phone in, so she just.
But at least she's sitting up and not down. My dad played the bass guitar, and because he did this for so long, his head went like that. And they
it strains the body, and it's affecting.
Bring it back.
Yeah. Shit crazy. You know, let's be mindful. There's so much at stake right now. And we're obviously, you know, just being led into dread. You know, the things that we do that we don't take account of, and we think that they don't have ramifications. Oh, it's subtle. You know, everybody's looking at their phones. Things are no longer subtle. Will humans grow a second eyelid? Interestingly, the model of Mindy predicts that humans may end up developing a unique defense against too much blue light. Right? From digital devices, a second eyelid. So, I kid you not, you know what I'm saying? And again, this is not about self-aggrandizement, but I'd be damned if we don't just be telling y'all what time it is. You feel me? And these are the things that honor the sacrifice. What's the sacrifice? Damn, I gotta share my own personal stories with y'all, and shit, I'm not motherfucking, you know, because people run around calling themselves God all day. It's like, yeah, but I'm still very much a man, you know, trying to figure this shit out. It's like a child is born and that child has an adult in them as a seed, but you gotta grow into that. And it's the same thing with God or Godding. Like, I'm the little case G. I still have to, I got ways to go. You feel me? God don't even need rest. And God damn sure don't need security.
Real time.
So we got a ways to go. Let's be real. Let's deal with this man shit first. Let's master manning, and then we could get into the Godding. But in my manning phase, I make mistakes, but I've learned that being vulnerable and transparent, you know what I'm saying, allows me to learn more than hiding it back, attempting to present myself like I'm fucking perfect, and I'm not. And I even have a health and wellness line, and I still told y'all, yeah, I got sick last year. I didn't get C-19, but this digital device fucked me up. So I think that you need to take stock, because if it hit me like this, let me share my story. Somebody out here may need to hear this, and it helps. That's being real. That's what we should expect from one another, to be transparent enough to be like, damn, I went through something, you know what I'm saying? Rather than curating my cool points, you feel me? I'm going to fall on the sword. So hopefully, you know, you can see the signs and save yourself from something that could be potentially damaging, right? And now we get this information, you know what I mean, what science is looking at down the road, saying, yo, these blue lights not only gonna fuck your circadian rhythm up, you might even have a second eyelid. Feel me? Tech neck and smaller brain. Tech neck and smaller brain. I guess, you know, tech neck, that be the niggas and shit. When you go to the crypto events and them niggas be like tech niggas, and they wear the Reeboks, they wear the New Balance that white men wear. And then they be having, they got on dad hats, but they got these thick ass necks. That's the tech neck.
Oh, the tech neck. The tech neck.
Hey, you know, no judgment. I'm just saying. I be seeing these people. That's why I'm like, I know what a tech neck is. These techie niggas is different if you having tech necks. Moreover, Mindy's skull is thicker to help protect the human body from damaging radio frequency waves allegedly coming from smartphones. Studies show that a sedentary lifestyle can reduce human brain capacity. With that in mind, Mindy also has a smaller brain than present-day humans. You're not going to need a bigger brain if you're not using it. Right? Because the phone's doing everything. Remember, I explained to you that God only exists as a utility. If you don't need God to eat, you don't need God. It's as simple as that, nigga. That you only call God when you in fear of something and when you hungry. If everything is automated, right? And your life is so perfect because the shit is automated and there's no variables in your life. Right? And the variables present the opportunities for things to be yes and no. right? That's where God exists at. When you take that variables out, you don't need God no more. You don't need God no more. You don't need a brain no more. You feel me? This shit gonna be smaller, become atrophied, and you're just going to be subject to stimulus, right? Shit telling you what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And we're moving there. We're like, I've been to a farm the other day. I saw the herding of animals. You feel me? I saw how cows move. I saw goats move different than cows. I saw the pigs move different than them. Right? But you can herd them, you can manipulate them, and some of them shits do it voluntarily. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing us voluntarily moving into this herding in this culling period. Right? Studies show that a sedentary lifestyle can reduce brain capacity. With that in mind, Mindy also has a smaller brain than present day humans. Right? So if you're not moving and grooving, if you don't use it, you lose it. You know what I mean? So why would you need an advanced brain? And then the alien's gonna come with 2 and 3 brains, and I don't have to tell you how that goes. You know what that's about, right? Humanity's finna get washed. You know what I mean? Humanity's finna get washed. Somebody said a UK landed in the Ukraine today. I bet it did. Right? Because the niggas, they said that he already tried to use the nukes and he got shut down. So who's shutting? They always say that the nukes get shut down by the UFOs. So they been seeing UFO activity over goddamn Ukraine during this war. Somebody needs to do their research and keep up with the bars. Link in bio for all of the tickets and everything for these events that we have coming up in Charlotte and New Orleans. I could do a lot of this stuff in person rather than online, you know, because my time is limited, but we could really get into this thing, right? I told y'all, this is a unanimous 44 week. Obama is back on the motherfucking campaign, right? Now they talking about people gonna get hurt on election day. Former president warned during a campaign rally in Nevada on Wednesday that violent incidents like this week's attack on Paul Pelosi will continue in a political climate rife with demonizing of opponents coming from the Democrats. This shit is interesting, y'all. Right? I don't watch soap operas no more. Is them shit still popping?
They still on.
I mean, but
I don't think they'll ever go.
But I know, but is they like spicy? Is they?
I don't know. I ain't watching.
People don't be like, yeah, you gotta call me back after soaps is over.
Grandma still do, yeah.
Yeah, grandma like soaps is on.
My soaps is on. Call me back.
They still,
yeah, they
still getting it.
Got the soap game now.
Oh, that's true.
Late night soaps, what like the Oval and all that soaps. BT got the soaps.
So now a lot of them people from them old soaps was dying.
Yeah. So this is unanimously, unprecedentedly, a 44 week. We have the 44 resonator. Does anybody doubt the fact that Elon Musk is a 44 resonator? I mean, do I have to over-explain that shit to you, or do you get it? All right. So during the 44th week of the year, on the first day to commemorate, he launches a 44 missile or rocket called the USFF-44, which is a top secret launch in conjunction with the military, which also equals 44. And it's all Martian. And space equals 144. And X equals 44. And Elon Musk is a 44 resonator. And the goddamn missile is called 44. And Takeoff, last album, which was Liftoff, for the last rocket, was released 4 years ago yesterday.
Yesterday?
Right? Yeah. After over 3 years, SpaceX Falcon Heavy launched to space again, carrying... And Falcons deals with Atlanta. And the dude was from Atlanta.
Dang, that's
SpaceX Falcon X launched to space again carrying U.S. military payloads as part of the USSFF or USSF-44 mission to a geosynchronous Earth orbit. Falcon Heavy consists of 3 modified Falcon 9 first stage boosters. Migos, the 2 side boosters safely landed back on Earth and will be prepared for reflight on a future USS Space Force mission. So what does that mean to me? Oh, these niggas is about to get back together, Offset and Quavo, right?
They're gonna blow up.
Yeah, they're going to get up and they're going to be meteoric. Why do I say this? Because Offset's name is Cepheus. So this nigga's about to go on a meteoric ride to redeem himself from the fact that his mistakes fucked around and got his family, his blood killed. He represents Cepheus. Cepheus is the constellation that has to replace Kanye's constellation in the precession of the equinox. And I just seen Red post something today about the precession of the equinox and how the evidence of it is showing up already. So Draco was the constellation that we was once under. Draco moved into Polaris, which is the little bear, which is Kanye represented, which Kanye represents, hence the fact that he went to Polaris High School. And we all know that this nigga came through with the motif of the little bear, right? We all know this. We all know that he named his daughter Northwest. He is the guiding force or the guiding node or the guiding star of our consciousness. Hence the fact that he's a fucking a Gemini that represents the mind, and all of you niggas was caught up in his thoughts last month. Come on, y'all. I ain't making this shit up. Right? I ain't making this shit up. These are the prophecies of a false prophet. They said I was a false prophet the other day. Like, no, I just had to laugh at that. Yeah, but my dude's name is Cepheus. Offset's name is Cepheus, like Cepheus. The king Cepheus is a Cushite king, an Ethiopian king. And Offset looks like he could be a Cushite. If the nigga was to play one in a movie, he would get that off. He has Cushite features. Feel me?
Oh, well, yeah.
So, again, yeah, this is as good as it gets. These are real-time prophecies from a false prophet. I'm waiting to see what the real prophets bring, because, like I said, I like to sit back and be entertained. You know what I'm saying?
This stuff just keeps blowing me away right now.
I like to sit back and be entertained and shit. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, Astros, Phillies, Eagle, Texans will both play Thursday on the 4th, on Diddy's birthday, after World Series pushed back by rain. Right? So I keep asking, my Houston family, when did it rain? When has it been raining in Houston so bad that they had to push these sports games back?
It's just in our face so much.
Yeah, the Scorpius Torpus axis.
So unaware of who we are.
Okay, all right. Astros, Phillies, Eagle, Texans. Is it raining in Philly, my niggas, or is it raining in Texas? Can somebody help me out here?
Today.
Right? But look at those palindromes. Look at those twins. Right? How can and then shout out to my brother Carlos. He pointed out if it goes to Game 7, they will play Game 7 on the same day as the Astroworld massacres in Houston on Saturday on the 5th. Remember, the 5th of November. Okay?
Is it supposed to be raining today?
No, I don't. They said that they had postponed these saves. They pushed it back because of rain. Oh, he said it rained in Philly. Okay. Rain is in Philly. Astro, Phillies, Eagles, Texans. So Thursday night football, I guess they're gonna play it in Philly, or because look, Astro, Phillies to me says that because the way that when you say the home team is always the last team, so Astros are in Philly. That's how you read those titles. Astros in Philly means they play in Philly.
All right, gotcha.
But it says Eagles in Texan, so I would imagine that they're gonna play in Texas as well.
Eagles are gonna play the Texans.
Either way, it's a synchronicity. Shout out to my brother Carlo that can't be ignored because it shows the twinning Gemini of energy, right? And this connection that these have between Houston and Philadelphia, the home of brotherly love, where again, let me show you the statistics. It's anything but brotherly love going on right now in Philly. They killing niggas wholesale. Okay? And here goes the 44s again. There they go. 444 bodies at 44.5 murders a month. I ain't making this shit up. I'm just interpreting it for you, right? In real time. Explaining how impactful these numbers are and how prophetic the law of 44 is. But that's not to self-aggrandize. That's not to self-aggrandize. You feel me? I just got to defend my prophecies. So, yeah, shout out to the family and shout out to the family in Philly. You know, we need to, you know what I'm saying, collectively, we got to just do like collective quantum meditation and group prayers for more covering and safety over these cities that have become killing fields. Yeah, Philly is a scorpionic city with the gates of hell located in it. Shout out to my brother Ras Ben, who I gotta reach out to. Ras Ben was actually supposed to be coming through here this week. I gotta reach. Thank you for reminding me. Shit. Yeah. The Invaders, yo. If you don't do nothing else, go and watch this documentary, so we can build on it as a unit, as a team. You know what I'm saying? We need to talk about this movie, The Invaders. We need to recircle the wagon and speak about what King was doing and how they demonized his name so much. But he sat down with the young militants of that city and he defended them, right? He didn't throw them under the bus. He didn't speak crazy about them. And they gave him, it was a Kyrie moment. The media spoke to King because he left Memphis and came back on April 3rd to do the march on the 4th, which he never completed because he got clipped right after he met with these young militants. And he gave them a charge and he told them to go to other young militant organizations and, you know, get them ready for a conversation that King wanted to have so he could understand their methodology and he could show them techniques of organizing based on quote unquote civil rights. Because I told you I had met a preacher out here. I forget his name, but I'll get it. My homegirl, A Genesis, introduced me to him. He was in his 90s. He was a well-respected businessman and bankhead because the brothers in the hood was like, he's a gangster. But he was an old preacher who walked with King in all of the marches. He said that he was responsible for the training. He's like, only the realest of dudes got to march with King and do the front line. He said they would practice turning the other cheek in military style training leading up to that particular whatever march they went on. So all of these individuals were trained in some form of combat, but they also was trained in emotionalism where they would not lose their cool because they were attempting to bait this devil in, utilizing Christianity, weaponizing Christianity, right? And weaponizing the media to utilize against these people the movement. Now, I'm not here to judge nobody's methodology of how they choose to go to war, right? I'm just saying that he was attempting to link with militants, young militants in the city, and he also was going to make them the grand marshal of the parade after they got bad press, and the press was chewing them out. And the only thing, if he was a sellout, the only thing he had to do was agree with them and throw them niggas under the bus, and they was coming to kill him because they was trying to kill him anyway. That's the only thing that he needed to do. If you're saying that he was as much as a coon that you swear that he was, he could have went against them young brothers, but he stood up in front of the white media. He stood up in front of them Klansmen and everybody and said, them the little homies, we got them. There was a miscommunication, but not only I'm not going to chastise them, I'm going to put them in leadership positions for this parade. I'm going to make them grand marshals, and they're going to be involved in our security detail. They killed the nigga right after they left. Right? By the time them young men got home and turned the TV on, King was already killed. So, as militants, as revolutionaries, as leaders, we should have immediately ran to find out, well, what does this organization entail? What is their, what's their program? How can we pick up the baton? You feel me? And we would have been edifying them the same way people edify the Panthers. But that never happened. The only thing that they told us was about the controversy. And, he got snaked by his people. But they didn't speak about what he was marching about. They didn't speak about the poor people's movement. Right? They didn't speak about that. They didn't speak about the economics. They didn't speak about how his platform became more centered and more so integrated with what Malcolm X and him represented leading up into that time. They never spoke about that. They didn't speak about him meeting with the minister. Right? Shame on our elders' leaderships. Right? As well as white media. But shame on our own people for not preparing us and telling us this shit. I will never say shame on. I'm not even going to say that. I would say that when Dick Gregory was doing the inquiry into the murder of MLK, and he was pointing out, the co-conspirators, more focus should have been on the invaders because they got this documentary. These brothers are still alive. And a lot of them are achieved. You know what I'm saying? But look at Memphis as a city right now. I'm sure that they could use some support. I'm sure that they could have used some backup. They had a breakfast program, right? And again, the leadership were highly, highly educated, right? Valedictorian type of minds. And I'm only saying that to say that the engineering mind is more acclimated to organize than anybody else. Because the mind of an engineer is only pre-programmed to look for solutions. We cannot get the fuck up out of this without involving engineers because we were put into this situation by social engineers. So only the mind of an engineer can reverse engineer what we've been in. Look, hence the fact, if you even look at the majority of leadership or even gangs, right? They all have people at the forefront who are hellified thinkers and intellects. Even when I think about the Decepticons in New York City, the gang that was running around hitting people in the head with hammers, all of them niggas came from Brooklyn Tech. Anybody in Brooklyn, you know what Brooklyn Tech entails. You got to be a super genius to get in Brooklyn Tech. These niggas was hitting people with hammers and ice picks and razors. The Decepts later become the Bloods of New York. That's who the Decepts were. But the leadership of the Decept, all of them came from Brooklyn Tech. They were geniuses. They were brainiacs. Look at the Panthers, right? All of these people were uber intelligent. Hence the fact that the majority of these movements took place on college campuses. And these niggas, these was our melanated people going to college against the odds. These were people who defied the fucking lines of demarcation to go to college. This is not niggas going to college because of affirmative action. Yeah, in Westinghouse, right? They went to Westinghouse, which is a vocational school that offers programs for engineering. They went to, what's the shit in the city? Auto. What's those? It was vocational schools mainly is where a lot of these gangs and the gang leadership came from. You know what I'm saying? And it's because their leadership had engineer minds. They had minds of engineers. And there was no difference with the invaders. Their leaders were some of the most intelligent melanated men in the country in the collegiate world. Not automotive. art and design, and there was another one that spoke specifically to trade. I think automotive was where Mobb Deep met. Right? They were students in that school, and then they started Mobb Deep, or Juvenile Hell was their first album. But yeah, like this is, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. All of these people were highly educated and intellectual. Like I said, I watched the documentary on AKAs. Nigga can't hold a candle to them in terms of their organizing and what they could hold up as a metric as melanated women and shit on niggas and be like, nigga, please, are you serious? You see my track record? Nigga, I got receipts for real. We don't even talk about them. We don't even talk about them. We don't edify them. We don't hold them up. We don't speak their name. We don't know the name of these ancestors. We just see them walking around with the sweaters on and shit, and niggas make fun of them. But you don't even know their history. You don't even know what they done for us. That's a travesty. But we're so imbued with history from 3,000, 5,000 years ago. And again, it's not about embracing them and becoming them and edifying them to a degree where, you know what I'm saying, that's who you want to dress up as on Halloween. I'm saying know their history. Know their history. Right? At least be able to have a conversation about your people. Right? Especially if you're living in the midst of the shit that they helped create. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. That's all. Yeah, shout out to Sarah J. Hale. Right? Westinghouse produced Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, and Busta Rhymes. And Westinghouse was a vocational school, for what I understand. I think that they did a level of engineering in Westinghouse. Right? So, man, yeah, go see The Invaders. Dope documentary, narrated by Nas, executive produced with Yo Gotti. Shout out to the city of Memphis. Home of blues. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. Right? Shout out to the Facts team. Shout out to Red. Shout out to KT again. It's his born day. Shout out to Mama Pill. Because his solar return is, the birthday is of the mother. The mother gives birth. So this is my mother's day that she born KT in St. Croix. Feel me? Yeah, y'all. So so many things going on. So many things that, offer you the opportunity to lend your perspective to, just so we can have a better understanding. Do not engage in arguments if you can avoid them. If you can avoid arguments. I saw The Invaders on Amazon Prime, but I had to pay for it. Just like I had to pay from Hebrews to Negroes, and Negroes to Hebrews. I had to pay for all of these things. Just paying for my education. And I'm paying to put money in the pockets of melanated directors, producers, and content creators. So I do it gleefully. Like, okay, straight. What's good? Boom. Right? C19 shown to be the key to inflammation in the brain. I'm saying this shit 2 years ago, bro. Because brain equals 44, just like the blood does. And C19 is all about the blood, because that's a 44 disease. If I've ever seen one, ever, is that one right there. It's that one right there. And all of the telltale signs. You know what I'm saying? And everything is being unearthed right now. Everything's coming to the surface. You feel me? Everything's coming. Everything that has been submerged, buried, and hidden is now popping up to the surface. With these niggas in denial about who they are and their genealogical traces, I don't know how they're going to deal with the truth now. They're going to look crazy. So I'm like, white folks are probably like, well, who are you niggas then? Who do you think you are? That's a better question. Y'all don't want to be nobody, huh? Oh, man, bro. Look, wild shit. New unusual bee, right, that they found with a dog-like snout. Did you hear me? Baby, did you hear that? New unusual bee species is discovered with a dog-like snout. Dog. Bee.
My goodness.
I was just playing with you the other day.
He said I look like Falcor.
You like who?
Y'all, he said I look like Falcor.
I was just playing with you.
The luck dragon from Never Ending
No, you didn't, Flo.
She had a certain way that she sat, and her nose was up at a certain level with her cheeks. And I was looking at her, I was like, you look like Falcor. And I didn't say it to her. I went and showed her the picture.
No, my friend don't look like
Huh?
See what I be going through behind.
Yes.
Pray for me, y'all.
Pray for her.
But didn't I say that dudes on the West Coast, they have a very canine look?
They do.
Oh,
All of them
they
do.
look like
Yeah.
dogs,
They look like some form
jackals.
of a dog.
Yeah.
Like some form of a dog, because they're on the West.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with that poo energy.
Mm-hmm.
A new native bee species with a dog-like snout has been discovered in Perth bushland through curtain-led research that shows new light on our most important pollinators. Pollinators, yeah. Yeah, bees. A bee with a dog-like snout,
I was
nigga.
finna say,
Yeah, we on the other side, nigga. We are on the other side, for real.
You know what? I'm in the house for real.
And then one get in here, that's his
Nigga,
house.
we, yeah.
Who are you telling? Because I'm moving.
Baby, I'm not gonna do with y'all.
He gonna have a dog snout, boy. They gonna sniff us out with no problem. There they go, right there, right there, right there.
They said the rare, remarkable finding would add to existent knowledge about our evolving biodiversity and ensure the bees, named Leoproctus zephyrus, were protected by conservation efforts. When I first examined the specimens that I collected during my PhD surveys, discovering the biodiversity of native bees in urbanized regions of the Southwest WA biodiversity hotspot, I was instantly intrigued by the bees' very unusual face. Dr. Prendergast said, when I went to identify it, I found it matched no described species, and I was sure that it was a known species. It would be quite easy to identify given how unusual it was in its appearance. Yeah. Yeah, it sounded like a goddamn Bill Gates creation. They out here mixing pigs with bees, yo. Or dogs with peas, having a pea with a doggy snout.
Now, boy, that is going to be something serious.
You know what I'm saying? This shit crazy, man.
Ooh, it is.
You can only confirm a particular species once you look at them under a microscope and go through the long process of trying to match their characteristics and against their other That's how they sound. That's how they sound. You feel me? That's how they sound. Yeah, man. So the world is interesting. There's a lot of things going on in terms of discoveries and unearthings and new species. You know, we have we're cross pollinated with other dimensions at this time. I'm convinced. Right? Look, Red. They did that snake move to China, and they just opened a $600 million semiconducting facility right here in Georgia, in tandem with Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying?
Stranger Things.
Yeah, stranger things. That race to quantum supremacy is real. You know? So there's a lot going on in the news. You feel me? There's a lot. Right? Look at them. They finding all of these new species. You feel me? Yeah, only way to catch these gems is with an open palm. You got to be in it. They finding all of these subterranean species, fish species that are popping up. You know what I mean? The underworld is coming to the surface. Atlantis is rising.
All right.
You feel me? Please be informed and be aware.
All right.
This is a real deal. We're living in real times of revelation. And revelation just means the revealing, the unearthing. You know what I mean? That's what Armageddon means. That's what the revelation means. All of this stuff is indicative to the times that we're in. It's not going to be the stuff that they show you in the Hollywood movies. It's going to be something totally different. Right? So, want to say thank you for tapping in and giving some of your time and your energy towards these matters. At the end of the day, if you know, if I leave you with nothing else, the lesson of the weak, of the strong, because they also got this whole article in the news about how they're developing or discovering the difference between weak and strong force. I thought that was cute. Human Rights Coalition said that no military intervention by the U.S. in Haiti. You feel me? Let's see if they will stick to their guns and hold true to that particular proclamation. So, again, do not get into arguments, you know, under this particular energy. Try as best as you can to exhibit some level of emotional intelligence from now until January. Don't get enticed to get into any road rage fights. Do not fall out with your brothers, and do not bring family business into the public. You know what I'm saying? If it's your migos, it's your migo. If that's your friend, that's your friend. You know what I'm saying? You got to find a better way to settle, you know, these separations that we're having as family, as blood brothers. Right? Do not get into it with your family. Do not shed blood with your blood brothers. You know what I'm saying? And stop shedding the blood of your brothers. You feel me? Defend your brothers. You know, understand that as family, yes, we belong to a cosmic brotherhood. And this is not excluding the sisters. I'm just saying, men, you know, brothers, we got to step our shit up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta answer the call, and we got to step to the plate. You know, I seen what Matt Hopper just went through with his brothers. You know, the dissolving of companies based on contracts, dealing with all that Libra energy that we just went through. You know what I'm saying? Everybody jumping ship for the fucking dollar, for the penny. You know, we have to reestablish what our values are. You know, if we want to, you know, make it through this thing, we got to move with a more calculated assessment of the times that we're in, the energy that's present, and the things that are possible, right? Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it, y'all. Trust and believe. You feel me? Anybody can get it. So be very precarious with how you entertain other people's energy during these times. You know what I mean? It's not taking nothing away from you if you be like, you got it. You got it. Right? Not today and not tomorrow. You got that one. That don't make you no less of a man. Don't make you soft or none of that stuff. You live to see another day. And that's what type of time we're in. You're responsible for that. Ferrying yourself from one day to the next is your responsibility. Minimize, you know, your always making yourself available to other people and other things. It's time to be a little bit more selfish, right? And that word gets a bad rap, but I mean, like, curate your own energy. You know, focus on self a little bit more. Be there for you before you being there for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? This is normally a time that we hibernate and we go inward, you know what I'm saying, to deal with your self-auditing. Damn, what did I go through this year? How many things that I planned that I got completed? You know, how many promises that I made that I broke? You know, what can I do better? Where needs work in my life? You know what I'm saying? What are my plans for next year? What do I need to do right now to prepare? This is what should be taking place. Yeah, definitely set healthy boundaries for yourselves and for other people. Because you could be emotionally triggered to get off your square and do things just based on impulses that's not in alignment with the criteria that you already set. Yo, if it's not an emergency, I'm not moving. I got things to do. Right? You owe it to yourself. Please prioritize yourself. Feel me? In these times. And with that, oh man, I want to say peace, love, and light. I appreciate you all. All right? Until next time.